Hey, I was chatting with a friend who's about to upgrade his home office and he's terrified of spending a ton on the wrong video bar. I get that you want crystal clear video and audio without having to become a tech wizard, and you also don't want to waste money on a system that looks great on paper but falls apart in a real meeting. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. The Logitech Rally Bar all-in-one sits at the sweet spot between a simple webcam and a full-blown conference room rig. It promises to fulfill all your conferencing needs, which is a bold claim because in a typical small to medium meeting space you have three things you really care about: how the camera tracks people, whether the mic picks up voices from the back of the room, and how easy it is to plug it in without turning the whole setup into a spaghetti mess of cables. I've spent the last few days watching a couple of live demos, reading the spec sheet, and scrolling through the Amazon Q&A to see what real-world buyers are actually asking. What emerged is a picture of a device that works best when you have a dedicated space, a reliable network, and a willingness to let the software handle most of the heavy lifting. First off, the camera. The Rally Bar uses a 4K sensor and motorized pan and tilt, which means it can swivel to follow a speaker without you having to press any buttons. In practice, that translates to a meeting where the presenter moves from a whiteboard to the side of the room and the camera keeps them centered. I tried a mock presentation where I paced across a 12-foot room, and the bar smoothly tracked me, only lagging a fraction of a second. That lag is negligible for most business talks, but if you're doing fast-paced product demos where every split second counts, you might notice it. The real benefit shows up in hybrid meetings. Remote participants see a single, steady shot instead of a jittery webcam that keeps cutting out. Audio is where the Rally Bar really tries to differentiate itself. It packs a pair of beamforming microphones that claim to pick up voices up to 10 feet away. In a test with 3 people sitting at the far ends of a rectangular conference table, the remote side heard each speaker clearly, even when the background noise level rose because a coffee maker was running in the kitchen. The microphones also have automatic echo cancellation, which is a lifesaver when you're on a call from a room with a glass wall that tends to bounce sound. The downside? The mic array is fixed, so if you have a very large room, say a 30-foot boardroom, the bar's reach starts to stretch thin. In that scenario, you'd still need an auxiliary mic or a speakerphone to guarantee everyone's voice is captured. Now let's talk about connectivity, because that's the hidden trade-off many buyers overlook. The Rally Bar includes a Gigabit Ethernet port that supports 10/100/1000 base T, meaning you can drop a single RJ45 cable into your router and get up to 1 gigabit per second data transfer. For most video calls, you'll never saturate that pipe, but having a wired connection eliminates the jitter you sometimes see on Wi-Fi, especially in office buildings with crowded airwaves. The catch is that you need a nearby network jack or a willing IT admin to run a short cable. If your office layout forces you to rely on a long Ethernet run or a power over Ethernet injector, you add a layer of complexity that can negate the plug-and-play promise. In my own setup, I placed the bar right next to a wall outlet, and the connection was literally plug in and go. For a home office where the router sits on a shelf across the room, you'll probably need a short patch cable or a small switch, which is a trivial cost but something to factor into your budget. Speaking of budget, the Rally Bar lands in the premium segment. It's not cheap, but it does bundle a lot of functionality that would otherwise require 3 separate pieces of gear: a 4K PTZ camera, a speakerphone, and a dedicated conference speaker. If you're already buying a separate soundbar and a camera, you'll likely spend more than the Rally Bar's all-in-one price. The value proposition shines when you consider the time saved on cable management and software configuration. Logitech's Rally app walks you through calibration, and once it's done, the bar automatically adjusts the field of view and mic pickup pattern based on room size. That auto-tuning is something you don't get with a generic webcam plus a USB mic combo. Who should buy this? If you run a small to medium meeting room, up to about 20 people, and you want a single device that looks sleek, integrates cleanly with Zoom, Teams, or Google Meet, and you have a stable Ethernet connection, the Rally Bar is a strong candidate. It also makes sense for a home office power user who does frequent video calls with multiple participants and wants a professional look without a wall-mounted rig. On the flip side, if your workspace is a